Hello everyone. I have another question from my Facebook page that came from Dan. So thank you, Dan, for sending this question along. So I'm going to, as usual, start with some toning. I'll connect with Archangel Gabriel. Then I'll read the question and bring forward the answer that Gabriel has to share with us today. And so Dan's question is, I have noticed that people I interact with are part of a circle who have interacted with in the past. In my reading, you indicated that you and I have a past interaction. Are we so closely tied together that we always interact within these circles? If that is true, how do new energies enter our circles? So he's talking about incarnations that very often we are connected with people, sometimes not in a significant way, but just in passing, even in our current lifetime, that have been people that we've been connected with in previous lifetimes. So this is the essence of this question. So I will just connect now and bring forward the answer. Indeed, dear one, it is our delight to come forward this day and to offer some clarity on this question that you have about people connecting in different lifetimes and the circles of people that gather together. And we say to you, dear one, that there is great purpose in this, for especially in lifetimes past, there is karma that is created in a lifetime from situations that you have and interactions that you have with others. And so it is very beneficial for you to be able to work out that karma with the same person. So, for example, Roshana has an understanding in her own lifetime that the person who became her husband, it was her intent for her to leave this person. It was part of what was required for her to complete some karma that the two of them had together. And so it ended up that they were married so that she could complete this karma. And we would say that it did not require a marriage actually for this to happen, but this is the way it unfolded. And so this is just one example of how that can happen. So in some situations, there does not need to be such an intimate relationship in order to create the balance that the souls are wanting to find together by clearing past relationships and having an understanding of what it feels like to experience perhaps something that someone else has experienced through your actions in a previous lifetime. So this is part of the reason why you come together in these families, these familiar circles, because it is part of what you have decided that you are going to work through together. And so by having these interactions, it assists with that. And also it is a familiarity. So in many ways, family will choose to come back together because there is a love of those souls who they've had deep experiences with in past lives, and so they want to come back again and have a new experience with the same souls. So we would say to you that the newness comes from being in different relationships with these souls. At one time you might have been someone's mother, and in this lifetime you might be their son, or a brother or a sister or an uncle. And so it changes in this way, and also you're being born into new experiences. So you may have been very wealthy in a previous lifetime and chose to experience poverty in this lifetime. And so these are the ways that the newness of experiences comes through. It comes through the relationships that change, the life situations that change. And so we say that there is always that newness, and yet the earthly school is such a challenge that it is actually quite beneficial that you have some familiarity of souls that you recognize, because it makes it a little bit softer. So even though you may have chosen a very difficult life experience, it's just a little bit softer because you're resonating with the souls you're with. Another aspect of this as well is for those who have chosen very difficult experiences, so let us assume that you have chosen a childhood that feels very abusive. Those who would offer you that childhood must have a deep, deep love in order for them to fulfill that. If they are a fully loving soul on the other side of the veil, for them to come in and carry out activities and behaviors that are harmful to a child, whether it be emotionally or physically, requires a deep level of commitment to your soul plan for a loving soul to come through and offer you that experience. And so this is another aspect of why you come back in soul groups with souls that you have had many lifetimes with before, because of the commitment that it takes to fulfill such a plan. It happens with souls that have very deep and intimate relationships in past lives. And that is what allows you to create these situations that look very horrific and challenging from the third dimensional human perspective, and yet in a higher perspective it is very lovingly offering the soul what choices it has made to experience in this lifetime. So yes, indeed, you do come together in groups and family, and then sometimes it's people that you will maybe meet only once in a coffee shop and realize that there's some kind of connection there. You may never meet them again, but you know that there's been some past experience together. So it comes in varying degrees, dear one. But yes, indeed, those connections do repeat themselves, but we would say with much newness in each cycle and each turn. And so we hope this has brought clarity to you this day, and we give great thanks for this opportunity to bring this information forward this day. And so it is. So if you would like to submit a question to my Facebook page, I'm happy to answer them. I do about one a week, maybe more. And the Facebook page is rashana.ca, rashana.ca. I'm happy to get your questions. Thanks a lot.